the second stream of the day. I really wanted to do it professionally. I wanted to. I literally show you guys. I literally tried my best setting up this camera, the Prism app. I did so much. Like if you guys see this, I was like fully prepared with the camera setup. I had set up my mics. I wanted to draw things, explain everything to you guys, but sadly did not work out. Turns out there are some technical restrictions to as far as I can go. So basically, to connect my camera to the laptop, I need a capture card and a HDMI cable that would transfer data to the capture card, and the capture card transfer data to the PC. I ordered both of those things, quite expensive, but I had to get it done. I love streaming. I think it's the right thing to do. So I ordered those. I ordered Prism subscription, which is cool as well, but overall I could not get the camera setup done. It's already 4 a.m. I wanted to sleep at 3 a.m. but I was like, you know what, I am not going to sleep tonight without doing this. I had to do it. I wanted to do 5 streams in total to complete the 5-part masterclass, but we only got one done up till now. So I was like, you know what, I'll do at least one more. So let's make this stream as a summary session of what's coming forward and what my goal is with everything. So I'll be talking about that. I think there was a setting that I could use. Now I cannot use Camera Pro. Yes. Yes, now I can set the exposure according to myself, which is cool. I bought the Prism subscription. I hope it'll be worth it. Looks best now. Yes, the exposure seems good. Maybe I want a little bright, but I'm sorry guys, I'm wasting your time for whoever is watching it after that. So I want to just summarize things and what my plan is for forward, and what I expect to get done, and what I'll be doing forward. So see, the point is, I have to be something in life, and I've been interested in personal development all my life, and motivation speaking all my life. So I was like, I have to do this anyways, right? So that is why I started this journey as well, to inspire the world, to literally be an example of what I want to stand for. So I realized my work is to awake the sleeping potential in the world. My work here on this planet is to facilitate human potential. There are so many humans that are out there that need motivation, that need help, that need guidance, that need mentoring, and I just want to be that person who gives it to them, because I seriously believe there's so much potential in everyone right now, which is sleeping, because we do not believe in ourselves, because we do not know certain things that we need to know. And it's fine, I did not know most of the things. I researched everything. I read 1,000 books, and then I read Gita over 1,000 times. All my life I've searched for answers about life, what to do, how to be great, how to be successful, and I finally got it. I finally got it. So I think it is my job to now give it forward. So that is the whole concept, whole point of what I want to be doing ahead. Second, so how I'll be doing that ahead is, I'll be doing that through the 5-part masterclasses that I want to be doing every single day. I think this masterclass is what changed my life the most. I want to give it back as well. 5-part masterclass is all about going from bad results to amazing results, from being unsuccessful to successful. And how do we do that? We do that, I'll do that through 5-part masterclass, where I'll be doing 5 1 to 1.5 hour sessions on 5 topics that I think that are most important to understand for everyone. First of which will be philosophy and law of assumption, basically understanding the nature of self, freeing yourself, liberating yourself, and knowing how to use that power. Second, ideally it used to be a 5-day masterclass. Then the first day we would understand about philosophy and law of assumption. Second day, I'll be doing all of this in one day. So the second part of this masterclass will be paradigms. What is paradigm? I want to talk about paradigms in this stream, but I'll do that after. But let me just brief you out what the whole 5-part masterclass will be about. First day is about philosophy and law of assumption. Philosophy, understanding the nature of self and how to use that to your benefit and create the greatest life that you want to create. Second will be paradigms. The second part of the masterclass. Paradigm is basically a multitude of behaviors, a programming that controls your life, your 99% of life. Until you recognize that, change that, you cannot actually change. The results in your life cannot change. Right. The third part of the masterclass, what is that? I wrote it down. So paradigm's definition in one line is multitude of ideas fixed in the subconscious mind that controls your life. Paradigm is basically a program which runs you. You do not know that, but it runs you. Trust me, I do not know this either, but it's crazy. There's a program that runs you. Until you change that program, you cannot change how you are run. So yeah, that is one thing. That is paradigms. Third part of the masterclass will be about goals and decisions. Now, this is the most important thing I think in the world, because when I started on my success journey and the success and pursuit of knowledge in the personal development field, I came across Stranger's Secret, which was one of the most amazing books that I ever came across, and that I think was extremely important to have come across. And that book was all about saying that success is progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means if a person who wants to become a teacher is moving towards becoming a teacher, he's successful. A person who wants to build a business is moving towards building a business, he's successful. He did not say that becoming rich is successful, achieving anything is success. He said just knowing where you're going and moving towards it, that alone is success. So it basically concluded that just knowing what you want is basically the greatest power that you can have in this world. Like, nobody knows what they want in this life. That's why they are pretty much lost. As Joe Barker, who was it? I remember. I think it was Joe Barker who said, in the absence of clearly defined goals, you become strangely loyal to daily trivia until we become ultimately enslaved by it. Listen to it again. In the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to daily trivia until we become ultimately enslaved by it. That's what Joe Barker said. So basically, until and unless you set a goal for yourself that excites you, it is impossible for you to move towards something, and you'll become addicted to things that are trivial, and you'll get so loyal to them that you'll basically become enslaved by it. You basically flow according to that. You'll drift to the current of life, which most people do every single day. But if you have a person who has a goal, then he's different, he's rare, he's elite, he's the 1%. So you want to make sure you have a goal. After that comes decision. Goals and decision were 2 days before, but I really wanted to do goals and decision in one day, because decision making is the greatest skill that I think anyone can have in this world. I think life is all about decisions. If you take the right decisions, you win. If you do not take the right decisions, you lose. For example, I had a lot of decisions to make today because I have limited time, limited energy, and want $100 million in 1,000 days. So every single thought I have, every single action I take, decision I take, if it hits the target, I win. If it doesn't hit the target, I lose. And I think after dinner, when I was supposed to do the stream with the camera, I started losing. I got kind of distracted. I forgot that I was a $100 million man and I'm getting paid $100 million a year. And when I forgot that, I sort of delved too much into the details instead of posting this, and I ultimately got late. I did waste some time today, which I should not have, but this is kind of like the day one for Instagram people date, and overall. But today was the most successful day so far. I seriously think today was the most successful day so far. I really did a lot of things in a very amazing manner today. I want to keep it going. I want to do even better and better along the way. But yes, decision. I love this field because this is something that I implement every single day. So if I get to talk about it every single day, I'm basically just winning. So goals and decisions is something that we want to know is super important. You have to know your goal and you have to commit to it. You have to irrevocably commit to it and burn the boats, burn the bridges. There should be no way back. You have to know how to make a decision, and after making a decision, you have to make sure that you act on your decision in 30 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second. You have to act on the decisions right away. If you give it time, they go away. So decisions and acting on them really quick, very important. Fourth part of the masterclass will be self-image. Self-image is an image of ourselves which we have, which we cannot outrun. We all behave a certain way. It's because of an image we have of ourselves. If you have an image of an ugly person, no matter what action you take, you will eventually do not attract beautiful people. If you have a self-image of a poor person, you think you're a poor person, you constantly blame yourself, then no matter what technique a rich person tells you, you'll not end up being able to reap fruits from it because you have considered yourself a poor person in your heart anyways. But the beautiful thing about it is we cannot outrun a bad self-image, but we can create a new self-image. So if we can create a self-image of a rich person, then we might not even have to do something very special, and we might attract the things that we want to attract irrespectively. I got a notification that my device is too hot because it was charging. We can, as I said, we can create a new self-image just the way I'm trying to create a self-image of a billionaire, of being a person who is paid $100 million a year, $30,000 an hour, $300,000 a year, a day, $8.3 million a month. So I'm trying to create. I'm not trying to beat my old image and trying to run towards money. I'm trying to be at the money in my mind and work through that. Let that unfold. So that is self-image. Fifth part of the masterclass is discipline. Now, what is discipline? Discipline is not something that is usually being preached on Instagram. Discipline is just giving yourself a command and following it. And the type of discipline we want to exercise in the transformation journeys of our life is the discipline of thoughts. Which, as we will discuss in paradigms, we have a conscious mind which has an ability to reject and accept any idea. You want to be rich, anything bad happens, and people are like, oh, the bad thing happened, this is such, everything is going down. You could choose to accept that idea, or you could be like, bad thing happened for you, it didn't happen for me, I'll keep going the way I want to go. I'm $100 million man. I do not care what happened outside. I am getting paid $30,000 a day, $30,000 an hour. I'll work that way. So basically it's about thoughts will keep coming in your head, bad thoughts, lazy thoughts, slow thoughts. You have to beat them. You have to choose. You have to discipline yourself into thinking like the person that you want to become. That is a beautiful thing, I think. Right? So that is discipline. We want to persist in the new image that we want to have. Persist in the new paradigm that we want to have. Persist in this new imagination of what we want to become. This persistence, even law of as I said in the morning, if you've committed to becoming $100 million man, if you have committed to become a billionaire, and if I do something for 100 or for 50 days and then I fail completely, either I have an excuse to say nothing worked out, I did my best, or I can persist in being a billionaire because I want to be a billionaire anyways. Like, you guys try to understand, this is so liberating, because even if you fail, if you know that this is something that you want for the rest of your life anyways, then even if you fail outside, you can still behave like that person from inside, and if you just do that, you won. The world can go die, the world can manage its own business, but you at least lived your dream life. We want to persist in that assumption, we want to persist in that hope, we want to persist in that discipline, because we can be, if we can, as I always say, if we can be our best self, why do we not? Right? So we have to build a self-image and work from that discipline, stay in the discipline. And in the fifth day, finally, I want to work on some Q&As. For example, I got asked today, is it not selfish to set such goals? And that's where I really want to answer this, and the answer to this is basically, there is no selfish or unselfish thing in this world. Try to get this. And this is sort of liberating and sort of could be harmful for some people. Even if I do the worst sin, or I do the most morally good thing, I'm going to die tomorrow. Because I'm going to die tomorrow, the ego for which the selfish thing was happening will be dead. So what was the selfish act for? Selfish act exists if you think there is something that you are doing the act for. There's an ego that you are doing an act for. If there is no ego, there is no selfish act. In fact, there is no unselfish act either. I think even unselfish act arises from the fact that you have an ego and then you're trying to become altruistic. I say go beyond both of them. You have a nature. I do not care what is that. Whatever is that. If you do not express it, you've only one option. Either you can express it or suppress it. And now if you're suppressing it, thinking about the selfish, unselfish things, it's the same as, these are things you wonder when you're not doing very well in life, or you're not on the path that you should be on life, like when you're sort of drifting. Because Elon Musk doesn't think of this. A very productive person, Michael Phelps, didn't think gold medals were selfish. When you follow your nature, you end up realizing, for example, I want to make this money, I want to make this amount of money. Until I committed to this goal, I was doing nothing. Okay, I had a life force, I was doing nothing at all. I have this goal, I'm doing something. In this something, a lot of people are going to be helped. So, and eventually, any selfish thing that you think is selfish for you will always end up being the most unselfish thing that you'll ever do. I rather say, in order to be unselfish, you have to realize that you have to be very selfish. If you're not even selfish for your own needs, you kind of just lost in life. You become selfish. You ask for beautiful things for yourself. That is not being selfish. Ask for beautiful things for yourself. Ask for beautiful things for the other world, for the world outside you, and so you will get the beautiful things for yourself and the other people. Don't do something extremely stupid to gain your things. I mean, that is common sense. I think that also people do when they're actually not committed. When you're not committed, you do stupid thing when you're just lost. So no goal is selfish. But if you suppress it, that is selfishness, because you're literally suppressing your nature from expressing. Yes, that'll be the 5-part masterclass that I'll be doing. First part will be paradigm, second part will be first part will be philosophy and law of assumption, second part will be paradigm, third part will be goals and decision, fourth part will be self-image, fifth part will be discipline and Q&A. That's what I want to do. In this video, I want to talk about paradigms a little bit. So what is a paradigm? Paradigm is basically a multitude of ideas that is fixed in a subconscious mind that run your rigid life. So if I could explain you guys the idea of the brain, and I will do that. You see, this is what a human mind looks like. You build a circle, you divide into two, make a line, you make another circle. This upper part is conscious mind, lower part is subconscious mind, this is body. You need to realize this is how a human brain works. We all have a conscious mind which thinks, which is the reasonable mind, which is the intellectual mind with which we think and make decisions, logical decisions, which has the ability to accept and reject information. Subconscious mind is an emotional mind. Subconscious mind is where the self-image is where your identity is. And you have to realize that subconscious mind is what causes the body to work and what causes the results. So, in a subconscious mind is a paradigm. How was it formed? It was formed by daily repetition of something entering from a subconscious mind, entering in your conscious mind, not being rejected, going to the subconscious mind. Every day you hear ideas, you accept them. You hear bad things, good things, just keep accepting them. You never object them. You hear anything and everything that you want to hear. But you need to realize that constitutes a program in your head, that constitutes an identity. When you have an identity, you work out of it without even trying, without making decisions. You get a program in which with which you want to work. Now this program causes results. The way you have to realize, some people are born in rich families, and no matter what you do, you know they'll end up being rich. Some people are in poor family, and no matter what they do, you know they'll stay at the same place. We just know how people are going to perform. We just know people are not that unpredictable, unless they just go crazy. People are not that unpredictable. Why? Because a program was fed in their brain so badly, and it's so difficult to change. So you just know that because they don't even have the knowledge to change it, they'll stay there. They'll stay at the program. Because they will stay at the program, the results will never change. But how do we change that? That is where the programming and that is where the paradigm comes in, right? You have to realize results are caused by paradigms. Paradigms formed by conscious repetition of something. If you see poverty all around you forever, you make a poor paradigm, and that is what your results become. But let's say you want to change your results. Now you have to realize you have to change your paradigm in order to change your results. If you do not change your paradigm, no matter how many actions you take that are different than what you were to take earlier, you will sooner or later come back to the old paradigm. It's like a homeostasis of the thermal clock of the home in thermostat of thermostat. You cannot deviate too far from your natural self-image. So how do we change the paradigm? We change the paradigm by creating a new paradigm. How do we create a new paradigm? By consciously feeding new information over and over and over and over again of the goal that we want. How do we do that? We do that by repetition. How do we do that? When we see poverty all around us, how can we feed our subconscious mind with rich, expensive images? We do it through our higher faculties. What are higher faculties? Imagination, thinking, perception, memory, memory, reasoning. So when you wake up, you see people fighting all around. You just don't see it, you see people loving each other. When you wake up and you're driving an old car, you don't see that. You see yourself driving a Bugatti in your head. It's by doing that mental exercise. It's by massaging your dream in your head. It's by seeing yourself somewhere else, even though technically you are somewhere else. That is what causes. That is how you feed new information to subconscious mind. And you have to repeat this. You have to repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. When you keep repeating it, slowly and steadily, these new ideas of your dreams, they stop scaring you. Because when you have a new idea, you're also afraid of it because you were so accustomed to the old things that you're scared to do the new things. But when you do it over and over and over and over again, just the way you're normalized to the current paradigm, you also get normalized to a newer paradigm. When you get accustomed to a new paradigm, that is when your vibration changes, your body starts to act differently automatically, and when it acts differently automatically, your results start to change. But you have to understand, this is very important. You have the results that you have today because you have a programming that is constantly reaffirming those results. You cannot change that programming if you do not know how to change that. I'll repeat that. You have certain results in your life right now because you have a certain programming in your head that is constantly reaffirming those results. That programming was formed by constant intake of information and a worldview that have been given to you from your birth, and there's now a very solid paradigm, a program in your head that is controlling your actions, and those actions are controlling your results in your head. Now if you want to make a change, and if you just try to change the conscious habits without changing the paradigm, what will happen? You will end up just like a thermostat. You won't deviate too much from your path. You will take some new actions, then you'll fall back to the old paradigm, because this has been formed by years of repetition. You have to realize, if you want to change the results in your life, you have to change this programming itself. You have to act like you have to think like a rich person, act like a rich person. You have to, from inside, change your program from being a poor person to being a rich person. From seeing lack in the world, you have to start seeing good and abundance in the world. How do you do that? You do that by consciously rejecting all of the information that you do not want, all of the bad things that are happening in your life, consistently rejecting that consciously in your thoughts, rejecting the bad thoughts, and consciously feeding positive thoughts in alignment with your goals in your conscious brain over and over and over and over and over and over again through repetition. When you use your imagination, higher faculties, imagination, creativity, memory, thinking, reason, perception, those abilities, to not take the bad external results as they are, but see new results in your head, take in new information through your conscious brain, imagine abundance, imagine money coming in, imagine having a great body. That is how your subconscious is brainwashed into believing that, because subconscious, remember, cannot differentiate between real and imaginary. We're living in an abundant world. And when that vibration flips, now your body takes action in alignment with an abundant person. And when you do that effortlessly, without thinking, when you act like an abundant person, that is when the results actually start getting changed. That is when you get the dream results that you want in your life. How does that happen? Repetition. There are two ways of this to happen. Either you can have an emotional trauma when someone dies and you literally change completely, or it's spaced repetition. You repeat a new image in your mind over and over and over and over again until it becomes inevitable for you to work in alignment with that. You come to a point where the old paradigm feels bad and the new paradigms feels more real. That is how you change. That is the beauty of paradigm. Schools give us a lot of knowledge, but they don't teach us how to change a paradigm. Because they don't teach us how to change a paradigm, sadly people have superior knowledge and inferior results, and that causes frustration. I know a lot of people who are extremely brilliant in their minds, extremely smart, but they have bad results. You must have met some of those people as well. Why does that happen? They know exactly what to do, but they still have bad results. Why? Because the subconscious brain, the programming controls your results. If you do not change the programming through constant repetition, it is not going to change. I'll repeat, this is very important. We have a program, literally a fixed program that runs our life fully. 99% of our behavior is automatic in a day. We have habits. Those habits are arising from a self-image, a paradigm that has been built over years. Now, if you wake up and change a few actions through willpower, you can only change it for a few days and then it will stop because you did not change your program. And after 50 days, you'll be like, I tried everything, it did not work. And it'll be difficult to change. So, in order to actually change the results that you have, instead of changing the external habits, external actions, you change the program itself that you have that run you. How do you change the program? You change it by making a decision, by knowing what you want, irrevocably committing to it. And secondly, you do it by thinking, feeling, acting like that person, constantly reaffirming yourself as the person that you want to become, using your mental faculties and changing that program. What is the difference between a normal person and the person who knows how to change paradigm? This is interesting because when normally people pursue goals, they pursue something outside of them. When you're pursuing something outside of you, you're always restless. You're trying to get something to fill you. You're trying to get something that's outside. You're pursuing something. When you're changing, and because that does not happen, it's very easy for people to get disheartened very soon. But when you know how to change your paradigm, you basically change the person himself, the programming that you have through conscious. I don't even know how normal people are not able to succeed because I'm so accustomed to this paradigm knowledge and trying to understand what is the problem with people. I think change is very possible. It is completely possible. All it requires is constant repetition, constant imagining of becoming that person. If you work for the goal, I don't think you'll ever get it. But if you work from the goal, it's very easy to get it. Those are things I need to have more feedback from people to really realize it. But yes, we need to realize pattern knowledge is extremely important. Until unless you change your subconscious programming, it's extremely difficult to change your results. And results is what we want to change. Health, wealth, relationship, happiness. We want to change those results. We change that by changing our program. Yes. So that was about paradigms. Then comes goal setting. We have to realize that why we so I'm just going to the second part of the masterclass. The third part of the masterclass is goals. In goals, I want to cover 2-3 things. One is the most important: why do we set goals? And I think this is the most important part of everything else, because we set goals for expression, not completion of our ego. All problems in the world, I think, happen when we set goals to inflate our ego. When goals, the only purpose of goal was expression. Every time in life, when you pursue a goal, you come to a point where things will be hard and you'll be asking yourself, why am I doing it? At that point, you have to remember, you have to recall, you're doing it for expression. If you tell yourself that you are doing it to become something better, to gain something, you will always find disappointment, because there is nothing that can satisfy you in this world. You can say, I want that car to satisfy me, it will not satisfy you, especially in that bad time when everything goes wrong. It will not satisfy you. The answer that I'm pursuing this car to gain something, that answer will not satisfy you. You have to remember, all this that I'm doing, I'm purely doing it for expression. I'm doing it to express my best self out to the world because I can, and this is the way to do it. That's the first part of the goals. You need to know why we set goals. We set goals for expression, never for completion of the ego. Secondly, we need to understand what goals to set. This is super difficult. It took me a very long time to understand it. And the answer to it is simply set a goal that we need to dream. We need to dream of what you want in this life. Because unless and until it's something that excites you, it's very difficult to wake up excited for work. And money and all really don't matter if you don't wake up excited to do something that you like. So yes, you have to dream. We dream because dreams are possible. And dreams are better than small reasons to work for. Nextly, I want to cover in goals is how do you actually realize what your most important dream is. You write out 30 goals for yourself and you figure out 1 to 30 priorities of them, which one is the most top priority, and then you just circle out the A1 goal and buy the rest of the list, and you realize that all the other goals will also end up happening anyways, but you're setting an A1 goal because that is where you want to give all, that is what you want to give all your conscious attention to. I'm drifting off a little. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Right, so that is what you do. After that comes decision. Now, when you have written down this A1 goal, you need to realize that you have to make a committed, irrevocable decision. If you do not make a committed, irrevocable decision, no matter what you do, you're going to face disappointment. Because, as I told you guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's going to get very difficult. If you're half-hearted towards it, you will face failure. You have to make a committed, irrevocable decision. You commit to it and you do not revoke from it. It is done. You make the decision and it is done. You do not increase it, and ideally do not decrease it and increase it either. After that, decisions you need to learn that in Think and Grow Rich, people had it's written that of all the people, one thing that was very highlighted was that every great person was a quick decision maker, and decision making should be quick and should be very slow in canceling the decisions. Like, you have to be very hard, quick and definite when you make a decision, and you have to take a lot of time leaving that decision. Making decision is very important. Next comes the self-image. Self-image I already explained. Jesus, why? Why do I have not much energy? It's 5:30 in the morning. I see. That is why I have to go to sleep soon as well. Then comes the self-image. You have to realize that you have an image of yourself. You cannot outrun that image, but you can always create a new one. Then comes resume. You have to position that image, and then comes Q&A, which I'll be asking from tomorrow. But yes, this was the stream too. This is what I want to do ahead. I want to facilitate potential in this world. I want to wake up all the sleeping people and make them motivated. I think I need to make a better plan of how I want to do that. I have 10 hours in a day where I can work in a day to work. Right, and either I can make 5-part masterclass every day, or I can make 1 part a day and edit the rest of the clips. What will bring the most? What will hit the target the most? Maybe I am not sure. I'm just thinking out loud on stream. There is a place. There is a place. $100 million. I actually just need to make $15 million to get my Bugatti. I don't know why I said 100 million. But the point is, when you work so hard, you realize you might as well ask your dream number, not the one that you need. One thing is sure, I need clippers. Either I can clip, or I need other clippers to clip my videos. Having someone else to clip it would be amazing, and then I can literally make 5-part masterclass every single day. What am I doing? I need to think of how to hit the target. I'm $100 million man. I get paid $100 million a year, $30,000 a day, $30,000 an hour, $300,000 a day. People want me. There are people who need me. I need to reach them. The best way to reach them is through Instagram. Do that. Streaming is a great way. You know what, guys? Maybe I need to revisit some of my thoughts. And I'll be back tomorrow. So yes, that was day one. I did good today. Alright, I did good. Did I do my 100%? I guess not yet. I need to still do a little bit more. But yes, I need to work on my plan again. form my ideas properly and come back to this again. But yes, this was day 10 and day 10 on Instagram, day 10 on YouTube, day 1 on Instagram of 1000 of buying my Bugatti 2 in 1000 days. Yes, let's give it a best. Let's go. Let's get this. Peace out. That was the day 1. Peace. I love you guys. Peace. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. See ya. Love you.